Awesome, awesome. So I want to say one more time, hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is a big pleasure and honor for me to be a speaker on this conference. It is sad that I can't visit you in these hard times of coronavirus, but I hope someday I will be able to take part in your conference offline. Hope you will invite me in the future. Today we'll talk about programming languages to start with. In case you have any questions during my speech, don't worry, at the end of my talk, we have time reserved to address all open questions. And before we start, let me briefly introduce myself. One more time, my name is Andrii Piatakha. You can call me Andrii or Andrew. Unfortunately, there is no shortened version of my name. I'm CEO of my own software development company, and also I'm founder of Learn IT Online University. Besides that, I am tutor on Udemy platform, where more than 1,100 students were enrolled in my courses already. Mostly, I teach programming and project management. I helped already a lot of students to start their career in IT consultancy. So what we'll talk about today? Today in our agenda, we have a lot of topics to discuss. I'm not going to teach you today. Today we are going to have friendly conversation and experience exchange. I'm going to share with you also experience of my students during the discussion of some particular topics. We'll discuss what programming languages are the best to start with and what technologies are worth of your attention nowadays in 2020. You can find a lot of charts and statistics about popularity of languages on the internet. So you can do it by yourself, but today I'm going to give you a broader view on the state of the market and where to start, in my opinion. Also, I'd like to share with you my own experience and my own view of modern trends in IT based on my collaboration with my customers from Western Europe and United States. Such experience exchange should help all of us here to stay on the same page regarding top-notch technologies that could bring amazing experience to our customers, first of all, and understand the areas where we have the big demand on software engineers. And at the end of my talk, I have special present for all participants of DEVCON. So let's start. And before we start about talking modern trends in IT, let's discuss first where to start long and exciting learning path to boost IT career. It is obvious that you have to learn some technology, after that create CV and find job. But today there are so many programming languages and technologies that newcomers can't select the one to start with. I'm not a fan of telling only one way to achieve your goal. Instead, today I want you answer my question. I will help you do that by asking you right questions. The first question we have to ask today is what exactly you want to do. Do you want to implement video games, web or desktop or mobile? Or you would like to implement applications that works with huge amount of data that processes tons of information daily? Sometimes this application may make our lives easier, but sometimes we help big companies to earn more money by customizing advertisement for us based on our browser history. It depends. What you want to do? What are you interested in? That's the question. To help you answer this question, let me structure a bit information. Today, modern software might be separated into four major categories. They are web development. In this group, we are going to place all applications and programming languages that can help us to create these applications to be accessed over internet, including online games. Mobile development. In this group, I'd like to put not only development for Android or iOS, but also programming of applications for smartwatches, multimedia systems in cars, and sometimes even applications for fridges. I believe you all know that there are a popular system called Android Auto, for example, that is used in cars multimedia system, or Android for appliances. Desktop development. Even today, I can say that some of my friends or colleagues of mine has a huge huge clients that still request to develop or improve desktop applications, and new desktop applications are created, and old applications also constantly improved. And in this group, we can talk about banking apps, applications for software development, video games, and others. And the last but not the least, microcontroller development. This is a separate group where I'd like to put programming of microcontrollers to automate processes on the factories, plants, and sometimes even in the military area. Did you already choose the area where you would like to work? If not, then don't hurry, take your time. And now, based on your decision, we'll review programming languages and technologies that are recommended to learn to start your career in one or another area, based on my opinion. I'd like to start from the end to have more time reserved to discuss web and mobile development. Because based on the statistics of vacancies on such job portals as Indeed and Glassdoor, web development and mobile development has the high demand. So we start from the programming for microcontrollers. Usually for such low-level programming, such programming languages as assembly is used. It is not friendly to beginners, frankly speaking. It has a lot of specifics that can be transformed into the knowledge that you can apply in other high-level programming languages. Also, such languages as C or C++, MicroPython can be used for programming of microcontrollers. Talking about real-life experience, I would like to highlight here that a friend of mine who works in the company that develops software for railway in different countries, they use VHDL. If you would ask me where to start here based on this list, I would opt for C or MicroPython, probably even C language, because in my opinion, based on job offers which I observe on the internet, it looks more popular today. I did some investigation before this session and I found around 10K job offers on Indeed.com for software engineers with knowledge of C language only in United States. Yeah. Let's move further. If you're interested in desktop development, including video games, then the option number one for you is C++. C++ gives you a lot of flexibility in software development. There are also different frameworks for desktop development with C++. Some of them is WX Widgets, for example. This framework simplifies your development process with C++. But I want to warn you, learning C++ probably is not the best goal for beginner. I will explain why in a second. I would rather opt for Java here, since it's cross-platform and it's not platform dependent. That means it doesn't matter whether you need to create application for Mac OS or for Windows or for Linux-based systems. Application will work everywhere. Also, Java has JavaFX framework that contains really a lot of tools and templates for fast development of desktop applications. And believe me, development of desktop applications with JavaFX, in my opinion, is much more easier thing rather than with the help of C++. But this easiness comes with a price. I will not lie to you that C++ will give you much more flexibility in memory management and other areas during the development. And you will have enough tools to create applications with high performance using C++. But in case you don't know C++ very well, you can easily create application with low performance. Swords are always of two edges, yeah, like it used to say. You have to decide what you want to receive at the end, evaluate advantages of each platform, and make a decision. But it's also worth to mention that you won't be able to develop a video game with help of JavaFX, but with C++, you would be able to do so. And also we should mention C# language that will help us to create applications for Windows platform. Similar to other languages, so Windows community created different frameworks to develop desktop applications. If you can't imagine what framework is and this word is new to you, just imagine it like code that is already written and that performs some standard operations. Depending on the community, there could be different frameworks written on different languages. And that's also one of the things that you should take into account while choosing the programming language. You select not only the language, but community that supports some particular platform. That will impact on the number of already created frameworks to solve typical cases. It will impact on amount of answers that you can find on the internet in case you faced with some issues. Can you understand that? Yeah. It is up to you to decide where to start in case you wanted to start with desktop application development. But in my opinion, I would go with Java first because of the wide range of potential usage. And remember, yeah, we're talking right now about languages to start and platform to start, but that doesn't mean you can't learn either JavaFX and VPF. So it's up to you always. But even more, knowing Java, it will be easier for you to proceed to learning with C++. Many processes that are automated in Java are still manual in C++, and that would require additional discipline and additional knowledge from your side during development. Let's talk about mobile development. There are a lot of holy wars in different forums, chats, and social media. What is the best for mobile development? Let me share with you my vision here. If you want to develop mobile games that requires a lot of animations, you can consider C# language and Unity platform. Why? Let me explain. Unity provides us with a powerful engine to create animated applications. For example, there are a lot of tools that will help you to reproduce the physics. In case you want to create a racing game where a player can drive a car and hit other cars, it will be better for you to use some code that was already written than implementing the logic of crash by yourself. By the way, a student of mine who started learning Java right now works as Unity software engineer. I remember that when he and other students of mine established first-time connection to database and retrieved the first row of data, he didn't share that excitement with others of making things work. Personally, for him, it was better to create animation to see colors on the screen rather than perform some data manipulations and see just one row in console that he retrieved successfully data from database. So remember, it is also up to you what you want to choose and what you would like to work with. You have to decide what is closer to your personality, first of all. You would be able easily to switch from Java to C# because it is not so big difference between C# and Java. In case we would talk about history of these two languages, you would understand why. But probably this is a topic of our next discussion. Let's move further. Also, there is another cross-platform development framework where you can program with the help of C#. It is called Xamarin. It doesn't have a such big community as other languages and platforms, in my opinion, among those that are listed on this slide. And based on my experience, customization of apps written with Xamarin sometimes may become the nightmare. A colleague of mine from my company got in order to implement some feature with Xamarin, and I remember his feeling. Yeah, he wasn't completely happy switching to Xamarin after working with Unity and other platforms. In my humble opinion, it is not an option to start with for sure. Probably it is nice to learn also and good to know, but probably not to start with. Hope Xamarin marketing team together with Xamarin lawyers won't sue me for this statement. Yeah, hope everything will be okay. In case you want to implement Android applications of different level of complexity, then Java with Android Software Development Kit is your choice. It provides you with Android Studio completely free to use for everyone, no extra fee or no extra charges. I would say that creating applications with Android is easy. And consider also the next fact. My company has both. We have accounts in Play Market, in App Store. That's why I know what I'm talking about. So to release your Android application in Google Play, you have to buy developer license, and it costs only 25 American dollars. And this is lifetime fee. Whereas to release application in App Store takes you to pay around $100 per year. There are pros and cons, yeah, even despite this difference in the price. For example, App Store guarantees most relevant and up-to-date applications by setting this annual fee, when on the other hand, Play Market stores a lot of applications, sometimes even with low quality. But Play Market has bigger audience than App Store. But in case you would compare statistics of sales, you will discover that it is approximately the same. What does it mean? The people who visit App Store spend more money on apps than people who visit Play Market. I gave this information, and you will decide how to use it when you will release your first mobile application. But in my opinion, Play Market a better place to start with, at least to test your application with real users and get your first feedback to improve your application in the future, and after that to release it in App Store, for example. If we are talking about development for iOS, then our choice is Objective-C or Swift. I would vote for Swift here. We can make a deeper investigation here, but also you should know that there are pros and cons. And now one more option that is promoted way too much on the internet, in my opinion, right now, and among the customers, that is React Native. Why I'm not happy about that way too much? Because marketing department did a great job in promoting React Native, a lot of tutorials, materials, and it's really cool. It allows you to create cross-platform mobile application. But again, in my humble opinion, this is not an option to start with for very beginners. I will explain why. Because if you want to implement at least something custom or to integrate with third-party libraries instead of writing your own code with React Native, it will end up write you models on Swift for iOS and on Java for Android, so on native languages for each platform. Thus, to program on React Native and to be able to implement mobile apps with the help of this platform, knowledge of Java and Swift is required too. And I want you to understand me right. There are huge companies who use React Native nowadays, and you will be able to implement simple React Native application without knowledge of Java and Swift. But we are talking about the language to start with, correct? And I want to warn you that to implement mobile applications that are a bit harder and complex than Hello World application, you would need also investigate Java and Swift. Probably someday there will be a really powerful tool for cross-platform development for mobile applications. Probably one day it will be React Native. Some of you would ask me, what about Kotlin for Android development? Kotlin is fine to start with, but it also has specifics, like other languages, and sometimes you would use a lot of libraries that are written with the help of Java. Even if you wouldn't write your code on Java, there are high chances that you would deal with the external libraries in your application and that you need to understand the source code written on Java at the end. Community of software engineers who write on Java for Android is much bigger rather than community of Kotlin engineers based on today. It grows, I will be honest with you, it grows, but based on today, Java community is much bigger. That means that it easier to find answer on typical questions on the internet. That also means that there are more vacancies for Java Android software engineers. And in my opinion, it is more reasonable to start from the Java here or Swift, and only after that proceed with learning frameworks for cross-platform mobile development like React Native. One more thing that we almost forgot to mention here is to talk about modern trends in software development. Google owns Android operating system, which is built and works with help of Java Virtual Machine. Google pays huge amount of money to Oracle annually for using Java technologies. That's why each year, already for almost 10 years, we hear from Google, then soon they would switch to some other technology. And again, smart device manufacturers should pay huge amount of money for using Android in their devices. For example, instead of Android Wear, that is developed for smart watches or smart TV, Samsung already used Tizen operating system on Linux basis. Also, Samsung uses Tizen for smart TV. And to develop applications for smart watches for Samsung, knowledge of C or JavaScript is required. So some key players on the market starting to shift their focus from Java to other technologies or to create their own. But this is just a beginning. This is not a, I would say that's not a main trend that dominates right now on the market, but that's something what we should be prepared to in the next 5 or 10 years or so. Google also promotes Flutter SDK. I can't say that it is very popular and will be the market leader in the next 5 or 10 years, but still, there are job opportunities for Flutter developers too. It can be used for cross-platform mobile development also. So you can consider this option if you wish. Web development, our last group for today. If you're interested in doing great websites, you have to start from JavaScript, learning also HTML and CSS. And as Javad already said today, while telling us story about dragons, HTML and CSS is not a programming languages, but these are markup languages and syntax for describing styles that you have to know in case you want to create amazing websites or to improve existing ones. This knowledge would allow you to do amazing markup, as I said. To be honest, there is also a lot of job offers for front-end developers on freelance market. So, for example, if you want to find the work on such freelance markets, I don't know. There are really a lot of them. I don't want to name just one here, but there are really a lot of job offers for HTML, CSS, and JavaScript developers, because everyone needs websites or to customize existing website to make it look good. And not always everyone needs to implement some complex logic to calculate something or to analyze customers' data. Knowing JavaScript is not hard by itself. The most complicated here is to choose framework to work with. Some of the popular nowadays are React.js and AngularJS. Also, Javad briefly talked about CoffeeScript. So yeah, there are really a lot of modern JavaScript framework that you have to choose. If you know JavaScript, you can also implement logic for the backend. You can also implement server-side logic. There is Node.js platform that became popular in the last few years. But if you would ask me, that wouldn't be my choice. That wouldn't be my choice, because if we have Java, then why do we need Node.js for writing backend? It is the same reason why Java is not used for front-end development as often as JavaScript. Do not dive deeper into the details here. Just believe me, because of many things, Java is much more suitable for server-side development rather than Node.js platform. The same as JavaScript is more suitable for front-end development together with all possible frameworks written on JavaScript. So our next thing that we are going to discuss is Java. As you understand, probably, I really love Java. I don't want to sound subjective, but it really has a lot of advantages over other platforms and programming languages, even nowadays. Uh, there are a lot of so-called Java killers that should kill Java. Some of them are Scala, Kotlin, and others. But in my opinion, it is impossible to kill Java nowadays. And the answer is simple, because really a lot of money already invested in projects that are written on Java. And companies that earn money with software written on Java don't want to change platform or technology just because something is just new. Java made a revolution one day in web development, and it changed a lot for the last 25 years. And I can say that there are some articles you may find on the internet that proves that I'm not the only one with such opinions that Java is sexy again. It supports functional programming syntax of writing lambda expression. It supports all latest trends in software development. A lot of platforms are written in Java. Some of them you can see here on the slide. For example, if you know SAP company, SAP company, it is worth to say that their commerce platform that is called Hybris and that is used by a huge amount of e-commerce projects are written in Java. Being a software consultant, I have a lot of customers that requires engineers for SAP Hybris platform. There are really a lot of vacancies for Hybris developers, but also, to be honest here, all these vacancies from Western Europe, because in the United States, another platform is more popular than SAP Hybris. If we're talking about e-commerce market of USA, it's worth to draw attention to Oracle ATG. That is extremely popular e-commerce platform. And I'm talking about companies that earns billions of dollars with the help of this software. How do you think, will they afford to hire software engineers with the knowledge of the commerce platform? Yes, and with big pleasure. That's why software engineers with Java knowledge are very popular on the market. There is also one of the main competitors of Java on the market, C# and .NET platform by Microsoft. My personal opinion is that Microsoft has amazing marketing department, and sometimes it is hard to not fall under influence of marketers from Microsoft, and they have really powerful and good products. But opting for C# would also mean that you choose a strong team that would always keep you busy and will secure your job place, because C# developers are always needed, and this is also a very popular language. Knowing C# is mandatory for development of each Microsoft product. Yeah, and we saw today Azure functions. We also know that you can write Azure functions, both now in C# and Java. The other projects like Microsoft Dynamics is a product line of enterprise resource planning and customer relation management, and you have to have knowledge of C# to develop for Microsoft Dynamics. And also one more example you can see on the slide. I'm talking about Sitecore. Not so long time ago, Sitecore content management system was acquired by Microsoft. And because of the efforts of Microsoft marketers, it became more and more popular. We also have some clients who use this platform, and believe me, Sitecore is really powerful tool, but that is also not the cheapest one. Talking about web development, it is hard not to mention PHP. Majority of blogs on the internet are powered by WordPress platform that is written in PHP. A lot of e-commerce solutions are powered either by OpenCart or by Magenta that are written in PHP. Even despite a lot of engineers that are spreading jokes about PHP and predict death to PHP, similar to Java, this is language that has strong community, and also there are a lot of projects that have to be supported and extended with the help of PHP. In case you would select PHP as your first language, you would also be able to find a job relatively fast. And last but not the least in this list is Python. Python is very easy to start with, yeah, and today Javad did a great overview of Python, and you can already imagine what we are talking about here. It is used in different areas of programming and might be a good choice to start with, but as other language has their best fit, Python also has its domain area, I would say. Significant growth in popularity of Python is easy to explain. As machine learning popularity keep growing, the popularity of Python is also keep growing. The thing is, engineers need the simplest syntax to learn to describe algorithms in programming language, to use data manipulations. Usually Python is used by data scientists to analyze huge amount of data. And also, as I said, it is used for machine learning. So in case you want to focus on machine learning, you have to opt for Python. There are different frameworks that can help you with machine learning and with building neural networks. In case you are interested, I would draw your attention to TensorFlow. That was the last one. But to be honest, I didn't cover all possible programming languages. There are also such modern language as Go that is also fine to start with. There is R language and lots more. I just listed the most popular languages and the languages that have strong position on the market right now, in my opinion, among the customers from United States and from Western Europe. I believe we have discussed a lot today. Now it's time to make a conclusion. I would be happy if you would answer what you would like to start to learn. But my personal opinion is that Java is like English language among all other programming languages. It is the language that you have to know, like English in our world nowadays. And moreover, the big benefit of Java is that it is much easier to understand the concepts of other programming languages after you already learned Java. I saw code of my employees on JavaScript that is written by Java engineer primarily. So I'm talking about one example from my company, the guy who used to work on Java, and he tried to implement some module with the help of JavaScript, and the other front-end developer that also write code on JavaScript on some specific framework. We will not talk about such details. And believe me, in that particular case, there was a big difference in code. I'm talking about code quality, I would say. Obviously, it depends on personality of the engineer, but the truth is Java brings a lot of discipline into your code because of the syntax. It brings a lot of discipline into your code in the way how you use object-oriented principles, in the way how you use design patterns, in the way how you think about scalability and maintainability of your code, in the way how you split functions and how you separate logic, and in many other things. That's why I think Java is really a good language to start with, especially if you're a beginner. Yeah, and after that, you can decide what else you would like to learn. And with Java, you can develop desktop, mobile, and web applications. That means there are really a lot of opportunities to find job with Java knowledge. And talking about my personal experience, even I started learning Java because of recommendation of friend of mine who worked as C# engineer. He's solution architect for one of the projects that mostly used .NET platform and C# language. He told me, Andrei, being in your place, I would opt for Java. I told him, but why then you are coding on C#? He answered, don't use my example, start with Java. And I opt for Java and don't regret. Yeah, that's true story. So that's all what I wanted to share with you. Here on the slide, you can find contacts, find my contacts, and you know how to reach me now. I would be happy to answer all your questions and help you to start your career in IT. Here on the slide, you can find my LinkedIn page, my account on Facebook, my Instagram account. Here you can also find the official website of my software development company. Here you can see the link to my tutor profile on Udemy, where you may find all my courses. By the way, I have totally free course published there for future Java developers, where I described Java basics. Hope it will be interesting for you. On the slide, you can see Telegram channel of Learn IT Online University, where I post educational announcements and sharing promotional offers for my students. Feel free to subscribe there in case you want to find amazing promotional offers. Also, not so long time ago, I published Sci-fi book. It's partially based on my life as a software engineer. There are some thoughts about implementation of artificial intelligence and a little bit of science fiction. If you're interested in this, you can download and share it with your friends. My book is absolutely free of charge. It is named Cronus 221, and you can download it by the link from the slide. And as I promised at the beginning, it's time to share with you my present, especially for all participants of DEVCON conference. I'd like to share completely free coupons to 4 courses of mine. Those are Java course, another course about object-oriented programming, a course about functional programming, and separate course about Git version control system. I will paste the links here in chat in a second. Let me just show you the last slide. I'd like to say thank you so much one more time. It was a big pleasure for me to take part in this conference. I wish I could take part in this conference in the future offline, as I said. We'll stay in touch. And now probably it's time to for questions.
Well, thank you so much. That was such a sweet gesture. I have 2 questions for you. The first one is, Andrii, thanks for sharing your knowledge. I have one question. Do you have to focus on 1 or 2 languages, or we have to focus on learning as much stacks as we can? That's the first one.
That's a good question. Let me answer it in this way. If you're a beginner, please learn the one language very well. Learn its specifics, learn how it works. Don't waste your attention on different stacks and on different languages. But the truth is, for example, when you would learn Java basics and Java for web development, the truth is that you would need to find something new and to learn something new in other stacks and in other languages. But to be honest, pure Java developers are not needed. In most cases, Java developers with some knowledge of cloud technologies, with some knowledge of front-end development are needed. For example, if you know how to take information about products for your online store from a backend, you also need to have at least knowledge how to display these products on a web page, and that's why you also need to know some JavaScript basics, at least to create button or to style it a bit or to place it or to submit a JAX request to your backend system. So the answer is start from one language, but not limit yourself. After that, feel free to proceed with learning all other languages and platforms. That would be my answer.
So our next question is from Ali, and I would like them to read out. Please, over to you.
Okay, sure. Hi, Andrii. This is Ali H. I have a question. How much concurrency is important when choosing a language?
Concurrency, you mean multiple threads of execution, parallel execution?
Yeah, exactly. Like if I want to run parts of my program parallel or concurrent. So should I consider that or not?
Interesting question. Let me answer it from different points of view. Usually, for example, even if we would talk about Java, my Java engineers learn concurrency and multi-threading execution, but in some platforms, in some languages, concurrency are handled on the side of a web service. If we are talking about web development and talking about specifics, there are multiple users of single web application, and web server can create multiple threads of execution for each client request. But you are, as a software engineer, writing the code of specific servlet or specific code, you're operating in one single thread, and it requires some discipline from you to create stateless objects that doesn't share state between other threads. But I wouldn't say that this is a matter of language. I would say that it is a matter of some coding skills and coding knowledge, and knowing how multi-threading programs are developed and executed. What is worth to mention here, that in some languages, multi-threading execution are in its core, like in Java. It was there from Java version 1, but in Node.js, well, it's appeared to be a bit later. It developed a bit later from Java version 1. So some languages were created for multi-threading execution, for concurrent execution. Some of them wasn't developed for this, but also support this feature. So answering your question, I wouldn't say that this is the first, the reason number one to put your attention on while choosing the language, because most modern languages support concurrent execution, and it's only a matter to learn how it's implemented in this specific language.
That makes sense. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ali, for great question. That was interesting.